Howdy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
Yeah, fine. How are you?
Doing fine. You want to go ahead and give us your name now? I do want to just tell the audience real quick. We've talked to this person before. You can introduce yourself if you want. Go ahead.
Howdy, I'm Sam. I call him from time to time. Just kind of want to defend the liberal values and maybe the Democratic Party. I don't think it's as bad as I believe you think it is, and maybe I can change some minds.
Sure, let me turn you down a little bit there. Okay, let me pull up the video that you had an issue with. It's my latest video that I titled "The Democrats Are Completely Hopeless." After some title changes because it wasn't getting the views that I wanted, which it still hasn't, so whatever. That's what I get for trying to report on some news for once. So you don't think that the Democrats are completely hopeless then?
Well, I think that it's more of a wider reason. I believe the tone and the vibe you give off is that you believe that the Democratic Party isn't sort of a force for good in this country. Do you believe that?
I don't think they are. I think that they're not as bad as conservatives, but that's as far as it goes, and they ride off of that all the time. And many of them are conservative.
In this country, right now we have two parties. I think you can name them. One of them right now, I wouldn't call conservative. I would just call straight up like fascist. They coalesce under one ruler who is ruling with an iron fist. Every aspect has been ceding power to that one executive of that party. And I think that anyone who is against that is doing better than anyone who isn't.
Okay, but the Democrats don't really seem to give a shit about winning or like, bringing the talking points that will lead to a win. And every time that like a progressive Democrat has a victory or is gaining traction, even the more progressive of Democrats like AOC and Bernie, they just straight up will not endorse these more progressive types. Like, who's that guy in Maine?
The Nazi guy?
No, but I know that you and I are meaning the same person. So yeah, what's his name?
Plattner.
Plattner.
I mean, like, as a Democrat, I would back him, even though I disagree with basically
You
every.
would back him? You just called him the Nazi guy.
Well, yeah, he had a Nazi tattoo, but he's also a Democrat, and
so
he's
the
against the
Nazi guy.
Republicans.
So he's the Nazi
Yeah.
guy to you. That's ridiculous. Okay, first of all, Nazis can be reformed. Even if he was a full-blown Nazi before, he's not now, right?
Yeah. I would back him on the very fact that he is a Democrat and he's good for the Democrat vote. However, I don't think he's the best candidate that we could have put out there because, again, it's a PR nightmare. He had a Nazi tattoo. You can't run a liberal candidate with a Nazi tattoo.
There were polls conducted. People don't give a. What's like one policy position of his that you disagree on?
Again, I'm not saying I disagree with him on a policy position. I just don't think he's like aesthetically the best candidate for that slot.
What do you mean aesthetically? You said you don't even disagree with any of his policy positions.
He's going through controversies every single time he comes up. It's always the issue of his Nazi tattoo or him cheating on his wife while she was getting IVF.
Look at our president.
Yeah, when you're trying to court Democrats, you need to have a better person. That we can't just say, oh look, this guy's a lot like Trump. Maybe we'll get the same amount of votes.
We're not trying to necessarily just court Democrats. In fact, if anything, that's antithetical to trying to court. If you have Democrats in your caucus already, you can safely assume they're going to vote for you. They're going to vote for the person with the D next to their name. So we're not going for Democrats. We're going for like other people, right? We're trying to convince other people.
So like, how far could his character go before you start saying maybe he is probably not a good choice? Because again, my point is not about his political stances. I don't care how far left he is. I care more about his electability. What sort of controversy could he get himself into you would say, maybe I agree?
There's not much that he can do that would cause me to say, short of him changing his actual policy positions, there's not a whole lot he could do. I'm sure there are a couple of things you could list, but cheating on his wife at some point, people accuse Martin Luther King Jr. of doing that. And maybe he did. I don't even know. What's your point?
My point is that it's one controversy after another. This guy has had such a messy life. It's not good for the image of the party or all they're going to be talking about it.
But they're not.
And again, if he wins, that's perfect.
That's all you are.
I don't think he's the best candidate.
That's all you are hearing about because that's all people want you to hear. But like this eggshell walking of like, well, we need to make sure that like the person has a squeaky clean image and blah blah blah. Nobody cares anymore. Look at our president. Nobody cares about your squeaky clean image.
Nobody. In fact,
if anything, a little dirt makes the bigger picture shine. Okay. To be honest with you, like if people are talking shit about you these days, that's just free press.
So I've heard rumblings. Right now, it's only accusations. I don't believe it until they're fully proved or like evidence is provided. But there are certain women who've come out to say that he has essayed them. If that were to be true, would that change your opinion on him?
It would change my opinion of him a little bit, of him as a person, a lot. But I don't think that would cause me.
Him as a candidate, because like it's not good at all. It's definitely not good politically.
I would want to know more about it. I would want to read it for myself. Okay. and look at the evidence. Because, well,
But right now,
if that's your concern, though, right?
No, in this hypothetical world, this evidence has been proven certifiably true.
Sure.
Airtight.
Yeah,
Would that change
that
your
would bring my opinion
opinion
of him down quite a bit. Yes.
as a candidate?
Yes, that would be legitimate dirt on him that will drag him down in the races. Yes, and it would change my personal. It would change my personal opinion of him as a person and as a candidate. Yes,
that's the way in which I feel about his character currently. Is that nothing about him has come out that is good, a good reflection of his character. It's always one controversy after another. That is why I'm not a fan of him as a candidate. But then again, as a Democrat, I support him because he's just another chair. He's just another vote for the Democrats.
It's worth
and that's
pointing
good
out
for us as a country.
It's worth pointing out he did win the primary.
Yes.
So, right, like,
yeah.
That's our guy. That's our guy from Maine.
Yep.
So, you know, like, if clearly he's electable. The whole point of a primary is to get to the most electable person that everybody else in the party throws their weight behind. But people aren't throwing their weight behind him. Why not? They were more than happy to do it for that other guy against Mamdani. Who was it?
Cuomo?
Cuomo. They loved Cuomo.
But that was in the primary.
Even after the primary, I think Cuomo ran, didn't he?
But the Democrats still supported Mamdani as a candidate. He won.
He did not actually... Mamdani didn't get any endorsements beyond, like, Bernie and AOC, if I recall.
You know that, like, if the Democratic Party wanted, they could have just ignored that and then put the person in second place in first for the primary. The primary is only something that they do for the sake of party.
But because they're dickless and they like the protocol more than they like anything else. They don't want to rock the boat.
You did it.
So Mamdani...
Aren't you one of those people who believes that in 2016 that Hillary, the Democratic Party, screwed Bernie and brought Hillary in instead?
Well, they did screw Bernie.
Do you believe that? What?
They did screw Bernie, if I recall. I'd have to look into the
So then why did they do the same
again.
thing to Mamdani? If you think that they're capable of doing that, do not.
It's a good question. No. I think that they knew that Cuomo just wasn't strong enough to do anything for them, if I had to guess. Why not throw their full weight then behind Mamdani, though? That's my question.
Well, they did after he won.
No, they didn't. They didn't endorse him.
What do you mean by endorse him? He's a part of the party.
I endorse Zoran Mamdani.
How many Democrats
official endorsement.
Would you say, how many Democrats would I have to pull, like, quotes from for you to, like, change your mind on that?
How about Chuck Schumer? Why didn't he endorse him?
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't. Did he? If he did, that's news to me. Did Chuck Schumer endorse Mamdani? Schumer ultimately rejects Mamdani endorsement from Politico in 2025. Congress's top New York Democrat refused to say whom he would vote for in Tuesday's mayoral election. There you go. So no, he did not officially endorse Mamdani. Schumer rejects charges. He's out of touch after Mamdani win. Okay, thanks, New York Times. Gotta pay for that. You get the idea. Schumer did not endorse him. No. And I feel like that's a pretty big one, right? You there?
Oh, sorry. I'm reading an article.
Oh, you're fine. No. I just didn't know. No, take your time.
That's all right.
Jeffries did a last-minute endorsement right before the general. I do hope that he follows through if he wins. I keep forgetting his name. The guy from Maine.
Plattner?
Yeah, Graham Plattner. I gotta get better at names. But yeah, take your time. Let me know when you're done.
So, like, when you say endorse, you mean, like, they specifically say, I endorse this candidate?
Yeah.
But, like, I find stuff on, like, a Schumer defending Mamdani against right-wing attack.
Now?
Like him condemning, like, a radio host reference to Mamdani as a radical Islam cockroach. He condemned that publicly.
Okay, that's great. I feel like that's the bare minimum, don't you?
Well, yeah, it's always a bare minimum to support your own party, which is why I think that you should...
Well, I'm sorry, but, like, if you're not doing the things that I want you to do, then I don't feel the need to support you.
You have to have a clear idea of what you want to be done. So it's like, tell me, what could the Democratic Party do right now to get you to support it?
Endorse Medicare for all. That's an instant win for me.
When you say Medicare for all, what do you mean?
Basically free healthcare. I want taxpayer-funded healthcare. Like, I want a full chest
Are you
endorsement
aware that is the
deprivatization of healthcare.
Opinion?
I don't care.
That is the minority opinion. Do you know how much they would lose?
And I don't believe you, but I don't care.
What?
I don't believe you, but I also don't care. So it doesn't matter. Even if it were the minority opinion.
What?
I'm saying I don't believe that it's the minority opinion, but
it is 100% the minority opinion.
Okay, what's your source for that?
All right, let me pull it up.
Sure. I'd like to know the exact phrasing of the polling question. I know it doesn't matter if that's a minority opinion, but let's just clear this up. This is Megabonk, Happy Zephyr. It's 3D Vampire Survivors, basically, and I'm not very good at it. It looks cute. It's a meme game, but it's fun. Support for Medicare for all for the last 20 years has hovered around 60% of all voters. Definitely not a minority opinion. Even 40% of Republican voters support it.
Well, that is is inconsistent because you can look at the follow-up question where it comes to will you pay for it, and they would refuse.
What do you mean, will they pay for it?
It would require having a higher tax, essentially.
That does not yield accurate answers. The people who are going to pay for it are the richest people. That's who's going to pay for it. Like, it would literally be way, way cheaper. They don't understand this. It would be way cheaper to have Medicare for all, just on average, total, across the board. Because what you do is you remove the middleman that gets paid oodles of money to sit there and gunk up the works. Insurance. You get rid of it. Just get rid of insurance completely. You don't have to pay them anymore. Done.
Are you aware that the majority of Americans are happy with their insurance when it comes to health insurance?
I don't care. 60% of them also want Medicare for all. So according to chat, I don't have a source for you, but I can pull one up if you want.
What percent did you say?
60% of all voters.
I'm pretty sure the statistic they're referring to is the question, should the government be responsible for healthcare? And that's a completely different question.
Well, I bet that a lot of them would say no, the government should not be responsible for healthcare because they're blackpilled on the government doing anything correctly. And they have every right to be.
The question was, do you think it's the responsibility of the federal government to make sure all Americans have healthcare coverage? Is the answer, one that is 60? Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. So
that's a different question. It's a
different question.
Does not mean
right?
What you think it means. Yeah.
Right. But what it means is if you can't afford healthcare, the government needs to step in and do it for you, right?
And we have a system. I would agree that what was a more popular program would be a public option.
Okay, honestly, at this point, like, I don't want to hear anything about a public option because we're past that. We're past that. We failed at every point to get a public option. Joe Biden ran on it and f***ed it, okay? He didn't even pay attention to it after he got elected, just dropped it like dead weight. And
sorry, what?
I haven't heard. Joe Biden ran on instituting a public option and then he just dropped it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's Medicare for all or nothing for me. Public option is the Democrats kicking and screaming for some kind of middle ground, and we're done with the middle ground. We're done. Why should we accept that? It doesn't fundamentally change anything about the system. It just puts in the government as an option instead of, like, it makes the government an insurance company.
Let me ask a sort of like I wouldn't call it brain teaser, but sort of like a hypothetical. Would you accept a public option, but you wouldn't get the best quality care for each and every recipient of the health care?
Probably yes, but also I don't even need to consider that because the quality of care would not go down. There's no reason to believe it would.
The average quality of care would probably go down because
what's your source?
We don't have enough resources for all the people who are seeking health care. We already experienced this in the system we currently have.
We experience shortages due to the capitalist structure and nature of our healthcare system. You understand that, right? It's because that is the best way to make money.
Do you think that if everyone had access to healthcare, that they would have equal access to the top of the line experimental healthcare that the U.S. economy can provide?
Who should have access to it? The people who can pay for it?
Do you think they could?
I think that it's possible, yes. But let's say that they didn't. Who gets access if everybody can't?
Afford it because we ration the way in which it works now is that we ration it off based off of who can afford it. But the fact of the matter is that one would be able, if we got rid of that money thing, no one would be able to get that treatment because it'd be impossible to ration it out.
What are you talking about?
We'd literally be having like wait lists for these. People would just be dying while waiting for them.
You understand that, like, every single other nation on earth has a better healthcare system than us, pays less, has better outcomes, and their populace is more satisfied with it. You know that, right? Like every single first world nation, actually? Developed nation. Canada, for instance. Canada has a much higher satisfaction rate for their healthcare system than the United States does. And that is a fact. And also there are wait lists already in the United States.
Yeah, but it's usually for the more experimental, higher value treatments.
No, there are wait lists for knee replacements. There are wait lists for heart transplants.
Yeah, because there's a very limited amount of hearts we can actually give out because it's really difficult to get heart doctors.
Fair enough, but that one's fair. But knee replacements, really? Like, why is there a wait list for that one? Or like dental care or psychiatric care? Why are there wait lists for these things? So it doesn't seem like that's a major concern.
So, are you aware that Canada has a system which is similar to what we're asking for with a public option?
I do. Yeah, I know.
It still has private insurance.
I know.
Company.
A public option would be better than what we have now, but it's not good enough. I'm tired of half-ass solutions. The issue is that people do not have healthcare, and the solution is to give them healthcare by whatever means necessary.
So, if a more likely means is a public option, would you just say, yes, that's better? Because that's the path of least resistance right now.
No, it's not. Prove it.
Yes, it is. How do you want me to prove it? You want me to?
I don't
you want me
know.
to go to a?
I don't know. That's up to you. Prove it to me.
What do you think it would take to get healthcare for all in this country?
Prove to me
How
that
many?
prove to me that somebody who wants a public option does not want Medicare for all. That public option would be the best stopping point for like the average person. Can you do that? Because if you can, I don't believe you.
You have to ask if Medicare for all is even feasible.
How's it not? What's wrong with giving healthcare to everybody? Just give it to them.
Well, it really means, what do you mean by giving healthcare to everybody?
Use the tax money that is already going toward war and whatever the else the government's paying for right now and put it toward healthcare for people. What's so hard about that? Why does it got to be so complicated? Just take the money that we're using for war and don't use it for that. Use it for something better. Can I not demand that? I feel like that's a reasonable demand. How about some of that Israel money, huh? Let's take some of that.
So, can you tell me the exact number that Medicare for all had proposed it would need to actually fulfill its purpose?
And frankly, it doesn't matter. Whatever means necessary means whatever means necessary. So I don't care how much. Make it happen.
Just do the thing.
Just do the thing. Yep. Healthcare is important. That's how important it is. Just do the thing.
And you don't really care about any sort of like political and economic realities at all. Just you think that it can just be done because of the will of whichever person's in charge or the people who support them.
Give me an economic reality that is more important to consider than healthcare for every individual who needs it.
It's not that the one which we live.
You cut out again. The one which we live in.
Realities here. I'm just saying that there is a political reality in which we live in, and that requires some concession in order to get what we want.
Okay, what concessions do I need to make for Medicare for all?
That's the thing. The concession would be Medicare for all for something a little bit less extreme, like perhaps
No.
Are you aware that no other place on earth has Medicare for all?
I don't
care.
No
other place has anything resembling that system.
And yet
not in the Nordic countries, not in any country ever.
And yet the closer that a country gets to it, the better their healthcare tends to be for some reason. The more satisfied people are with it.
So you're going to tell America to go from one system to a system that has not existed for the length of humanity.
Yep.
You don't see a problem with that.
Nope.
You don't see any possible risks.
Give me a reason to not do it. Give me a good reason to not do it.
Well, you clearly don't really care about the potential of it's less of a moral. It's more of a logistical nightmare.
Okay, go on.
Certain places, like rural communities, won't have access to hospitals.
Can you
because the financial
what do you mean? We'll build hospitals. What are you talking about?
As like a country? Are we going to nationalize hospitals too?
1000% yes. Why should hospitals be profit driven? They should just be there like libraries. Industry. Yes, like libraries, like firefighters, like police officers. Why not have publicly owned?
Like a considerable difference in logistics of a library, a firefighter, than there is to like a hospital.
There are plenty of logistical differences, sure. But which one of those entails that we can't do it?
Are we going to nationalize our pharmaceutical industry as well?
Sure, yes. 1000%.
We're going to nationalize that. All the companies and private shareholders.
In a way, it already is. The pharmaceutical industry double dips on that. They take that funding from the government, research the new medications, and then they also charge the populace who have already paid for it through tax money again. So why is that acceptable? Huh?
A lot of our industries are subsidized. That's how most governments work. If we want
I understand that.
We want research in certain areas, we subsidize. If we want certain crops to be grown, we subsidize those crops.
Yeah, so our tax money is already going toward it. So what's your point?
What do you mean? I thought you were the one making a point here.
My point is that it should just be publicly funded, which it already is, but then it's also a privatized system.
So your argument here would be that we wouldn't increase the taxes on the average person. We'd just transfer funding from other areas that the government's currently using to other.
Or take money from the rich. Just take it from rich people. They have enough. Nobody gets what they want until everybody gets what they need.
What sort of taxing scheme? Because, like, again, no other country does this. Even the what you call the socialist.
What kind of taxing scheme? I don't know.
Because, like,
and frankly, it doesn't matter that much to me. Make it happen.
You already tax the rich quite a bit. And I agree, maybe they should be taxed more.
Not nearly as much as we used to,
There is a certain point in which you'll tax them to where they'll just take their stuff, take all of their resources and leave. We've seen that happen in other countries who have.
Let them go.
Let them go. All that capital gone.
Yep, bet.
all that investment gone.
I say bet. Let them.
Okay, what you're describing is sort of matching a sort of a death spiral seen only in like failures in the third world.
Okay.
You think that's
Medicare
acceptable?
for all is non-negotiable for me. What are the logistics that led to that death spiral in those third world nations? Can you explain that?
Well, first of all, without compensation, tried to seize the capital, and what happened was that the capital
who's not
class
getting
realized, hey, wait a
hold on.
second,
Well,
I'm
who's
gonna
not getting
die.
compensated? What are you talking about? Who didn't get compensated? Who didn't
Oh,
get
I was talking about the
compensated?
third world country, capital owners.
Yes. So, okay, the capital owners didn't get compensated.
Do you really think that they would? Like, do you think that they would reasonably go down without a fight? No, they take their stuff and leave.
Let them leave.
Yes, you let them leave. Now you don't have investment. Now your country is sort of in an odd area where no one wants to build within it, and no one wants to send you resources or money because they're afraid that the government's just going to seize it.
Why should I have to suck up to rich people?
Suck up to rich people?
That's what you're saying to do. You
So,
have to suck up to them or else they'll leave.
Let's describe a country as like an investment, because that's what they are. Countries are investments.
No, countries are people, man. Okay, countries are people.
No, they're not people.
Yes, they are.
Countries are people.
No, I mean a country's comprised of people. That's what a country is. A country is its people.
Comprised of people. Oh, yeah, you invest in people.
It's not an investment.
Right?
I'm tired of talking about investment this and can't tax the rich that. Shut the f up. I'm sorry. Shut the f up. It's about the people. The people first and foremost need healthcare. Period.
We use this sort of terminology all the time. We apply resources to something that is currently not valuable because we have the idea that it'll be valuable in the future. We could take this down to the very simplest form: raising a family. You're definitely putting more money into a family than you're getting back at that time. But one day those kids are going to grow up and be successful, hopefully, and hopefully your investment will turn out good.
I understand how investments work. How about we invest in people?
Yes,
like a family. We invest in people.
Yes, in ways, that's how investments in countries work, is that wealthier people, the people who have more resources, will invest in countries because they believe that they can
the government should do it. No, the government should do it.
The government that doesn't have the resources at that moment
should
just take them.
Take them. Yeah, take them.
And you don't see the United States.
No, not at all. The United States has the strongest military power on earth. Just take the money. Take it by force.
I hate to do the whole debate bro thing, but could you tell me one country where that has successfully been done?
I don't care. Take it by force. Tell me why it can't be done.
Could you tell me one country that has done that and hasn't ended up being like either a totalitarian hellhole or a fail state?
How did they turn into a totalitarian hellhole? What do you mean?
What?
How did they turn into a totalitarian hellhole? What do you mean?
Because you're using a lot of forces that are heavily regulated with good reason. Because we could foresee if they can unilaterally take someone's resources, seize them, they could probably just do that for as many things as they want, and eventually
they can already do that.
Yeah,
they're
but it's
doing
regulated
that right now.
heavily.
They're literally like ICE agents on the streets, like just blackbagging people and throwing them in cages.
Yes, and that's not a good thing. You and I would both agree that is terrible.
Yes,
and we shouldn't
do that. So the people with the biggest guns, it doesn't matter. What does matter is the power of the populace. Okay? They care about how powerful people are in a big group. They have to. Because without us, the workers, right? The proletariat, they don't have their wealth. They need us more than we need them. You ever watch Bug's Life?
I can't say I have. I'm more of a and Z kind of person.
Watch Bug's Life. Great movie. Anyway, my point is they need us. We just refuse to play by their rules and demand whatever we want in a large enough group. Why?
They provide the resources. They have the capital to extract the resources. I told you, we can
just take it. If you have a big enough group, just take it.
Where has that worked?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Tell me why you can't.
I can tell you.
We've already been around the circle. We've traversed this tunnel already. Like, we've been here. You told me because it devolves into totalitarianism. What are you talking about?
So, like, I just have to ask because I want to know where your mind is. Do you think that living in America right now your life is better, no matter how corrupt or how capitalistic it is? Do you think it's better than it is in, like, let's say, Russia, right? Which has a system that.
Yes. What's your point? A system sort of like what?
Sort of like what you're describing.
Like less capitalist than ours? That's laughable. I don't know much about Russia, but
it's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that the government does seize private companies and does have that sort of command economy. Is what you're describing. It takes them and reappropriates them. Like, I guess we could go farther back. Well, let's say the Soviet Union. Do you think that life in the Soviet Union back in the 80s is better than life in America back in the 80s?
From what I've heard, it was comparable, but I don't know. I haven't done the research necessary.
Comparable. It was definitely not.
You could be right. I don't have the knowledge necessary to make that assumption.
China, right now.
One way or the other.
Do you think that the average life in China is better than the average life in America?
I think it's better in some ways. I think it's worse in some ways.
How about freedoms? Freedom of speech?
I don't know. I haven't done the research research necessary to engage in that discussion. What I do know
should
is that
do
we don't need to be we don't need to be
You need to
comparing
research
ourselves.
you have an opinion that has like a political basis. You're trying to suggest certain political actions
You're
the
not
government
actually
can take, but you
you're not
haven't
actually
researched what these actions have led to in the past, or why maybe we have never done them before.
This is why I don't
maybe
like the
you
Democrats,
should.
man. You all are like spineless. You don't believe
You
in
don't like the
things that
Democrats. You have to be the adults to tell you that,
you
hey,
don't believe.
sometimes you can't have your cake right now.
What's like
Maybe
the
you have
just
to have it later.
what's like the best world that you can imagine in the United States? Like, what's the best possible healthcare system that you can imagine? Does it involve insurance?
First of all, is it best like realistically possible, or best like in a fantasy
See,
world?
that right there just tells me everything I need to know.
I'm trying to be
That tells me everything. I don't need to ask any more questions. You don't have a fucking imagination at all. You can't fathom things better than they are now.
You won't get anywhere if you don't try to be pragmatic about it. You kind of have to give some to get some in this country.
Okay, you know what? We tried that in 2024, and what happened? What happened? Go on. I'm listening. Who won?
What do you mean what happened?
It was the Democrats, right? Because they were being pragmatic, right? No.
I want to ask.
I'm hearing no.
When was the last time the Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency?
I don't know. Does that matter? The Democrats were so pragmatic in 2024, right? Or were they too radical?
Tell me they were too radical. We got a lot of infrastructure stuff done, which was the most important issue.
No. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about back then, what they did and all the good things they did and whatever. I'm asking, did they win in 2024? Yes or no?
Yes.
No,
and
they did not.
We did with the political. Oh, 2024, sorry. We didn't win in 2024, yeah.
Okay,
it's
why
horrible.
not? Why not? Were they not pragmatic enough? Were we too radical? They pushed too hard for Medicare for all, didn't they?
It had something to do with disillusioned people. A bunch of people just didn't vote
Whoa,
that year.
what, disillusioned? But we had a Democrat for 4 years. What happened, my good sir? What could have ever made them disillusioned?
We had the most far-left U.S. president we've ever had since FDR.
So
and
he was
got
too extreme.
Infrastructure bills passed constantly. He was the first president.
You cut out again.
Them get what they wanted.
He was the first president to what?
He was the first president to go to a picket line to communicate with a union.
That's great. So he was too radical? That's why he lost?
He wasn't too radical. A lot of America right now suffers from a sort of unrealistic expectation for what he could have done. Biden had historically divided House.
Wait a minute. A lot of America suffers from an unrealistic expectation of what he could have done. I recall you saying something to the contrary earlier, like we need to measure our response. You know, we need to make sure that we're like meeting people halfway, like with a public option as opposed to Medicare for all. It sounds like people want them to be more extreme, right?
Meeting the people halfway would be impossible. We would not have gotten anything at all if we were to do that. It was either we do the compromise or it doesn't happen at all.
What compromise? What are you talking about?
Are you aware that there's an entire other party in America that has the idea to just vote no on every single thing Democrats will vote unless they get concessions? Did
you know there's a party that will vote yes, even though it is entirely antithetical to what the rest of the caucus wants, like in the Democratic Party? Did you know that happens?
What's
like
your
continuing
point?
The war in Iran? My point is, why would I vote for them? They don't even do what I want. Why bother? I'll just stay home and save myself the calories and save myself the gas of driving to the polls. Like, why bother?
Why even care about politics if you're not even going to participate?
Because they directly impact my life one way or another.
You talk about it, but you don't participate.
I do participate.
Your participation is literally just saying that you're withholding your vote.
There are ways to participate outside of voting. You understand that, right?
Yeah, but voting is the bare minimum. Wouldn't you agree?
I used to think that. But these days, what's the fucking point? What are the Democrats doing for me?
Yeah, so these days, you refuse to do the bare minimum.
What are the Democrats doing for me? I challenge you to tell me something that they're doing for me without referencing...
My question is, do you know what they can do for you right now?
I know, yeah. They could do Medicare for all.
Really?
Not at this...
What power do Democrats have to be able to do that right now?
Hold on. Not at this specific moment in time, but there was about 4 years-ish where they could have, certainly.
Really?
Just shove it through, yes.
Do you know how many Republican votes we would need to get Medicare for all?
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump has found a way to shove things through on his own, so I just don't buy this.
Yeah, you want Democrats to unilaterally control power in such a corrupt way as Trump?
Yes, please do that, please. I'm tired of the status quo. Everybody is except you and like a select few other
You are not tired
Democrats.
of the status. You benefit from it.
In many ways,
you 100% benefit from it. You live
in many ways, yes.
From the status quo.
Yes, but I could live more comfortably. And this isn't even just about me, by the way.
Do you know which
This is about my friends and family.
Yeah, I'm sure
Who
they
don't live
benefit from the status
comfortably.
quo. Yeah.
No, there are many of them who don't live comfortably.
You know
Okay?
the Democrats, they are the ones who are trying to help those people who don't live comfortably.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Do you think that Trump would be better than Kamala right now?
I don't know that anything would be that much different under Kamala Harris. I think the slow burn would have happened either
You
way.
are insane.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can
like,
think that.
in my personal opinion, you should stop doing political streams if you believe that. That is, like, somewhere so far outside any reasonable belief that you can have as a political stream.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's just true.
You can think that.
Do you think that minorities,
I think we should have
like
healthcare
trans-
for everybody. I think
do
everybody
you think that
deserves healthcare.
minorities like trans people would rather have Kamala or Trump right now?
Kamala, obviously.
Kamala, obviously.
I just
Okay,
think
okay.
that either way,
So that's a
either
group
way,
that's a group that you fight for. That's a group that you verbally want to defend. Okay, how about this? Black people in America. Do you think that they'd be better under
Oh my
Trump or
God.
Kamala?
Can you tell me something about the Democrats without referring to the Republicans and how bad they are? Tell me something good about the Democrats.
I'm sorry, but right now you have to see this as a hostage.
I know, right now you
situation.
can't. You can't, right?
Is it not being
See? You
corrupt right now better?
See? No, I want the Democrats to be more corrupt.
You want the Democrats to be more corrupt.
I want the Democrats to win. How about that? They should have won.
Okay, good. You want
I
them
don't
to
want to
win.
vote for a bunch of losers.
And vote Democrat. We need power to be able to enact these policies.
We had power.
How much?
What happened?
What
well,
was the
under Barack Obama, we had quite a bit.
Yeah,
but people
and you know what he
didn't
used
seem
that
to
power
like
to
it
do?
enough.
He got Obamacare. He got Obamacare through. Thousands
It
of
wasn't
people who
enough.
would previously suffer under no insurance finally got covered. So many people
It
had
wasn't
no
enough.
access to healthcare. Finally got comfortable access to healthcare for the first time in their lives.
It wasn't enough.
And that's not good enough.
No.
We did the best we possibly
Very
could have done
visibly
at that
not.
time.
Because what happened? It wasn't enough, was it? Because what happened? After
You
Obama,
can't just
who came next? You can't just what? Point out facts?
Yes, Trump came next. That's horrible. That's not a good thing.
The party that is so optics concerned can't seem to keep up good enough optics to win elections. They're useless.
How many
Useless.
elections have your candidates won, by the way?
My candidates, Zoran Mamdani
Yeah.
won.
One.
Okay.
Can you name another? Can you name
Not
another?
off the top of my
Sorry.
head.
How many primaries has Bernie won?
AOC,
How many?
Bernie, they won their senatorial election
No,
and their
those are
congressional
Democrats.
election.
They vote with the Democrats. They support the Democrat Party.
I
They may
understand that.
aesthetically lean to the left like you think, but no, they're Democrats. They don't think how you think.
Bernie's literally
They
not a Democrat.
They understand what?
Bernie's literally not a Democrat, but
Yes, he is. He's under the Democratic Party.
I'm pretty sure he's an
runs-
independent.
No, he's a Democrat.
Chat, can you help me out? It doesn't matter. Point is, Democrats aren't doing enough. They're not. Regardless of whether or
Are you
not
talking
I
about right now
personally...
they're not doing enough?
Can you explain to me what's so hard about Medicare for all? What's so hard about just giving people health care? Why do you not see that as an investment in people?
Okay, I have to ask
Like,
you.
if people
because
are
that's
mentally
that's
and physically
very-
well...
That's a very, very challenging question because you have to understand how
Because-
how the medical system works in this country.
Nobody
Like,
understands how the medical system works. That's
Do
the whole
research
fucking point,
into
man.
it. Why are you asking me this question when you should do
Nobody
some research
understands
into it? Because clearly you do not know enough about this to actually have a positive understanding of what it is.
Okay,
And by positive, I mean the direction, not the quality.
I understand what you meant. I don't need to know that much. All I need to know is that healthcare is private right now, and as a result, a lot of people are suffering. Because as it turns out, forcing people to suffer is very profitable. Look at insurance agencies. They deny claims as often as they can. This is just 101, okay?
Do you think that insurance companies in America are profitable?
If they're not profitable, then why are they running?
There's a need. It's sort of like how airplane companies in America are not profitable.
So they're just doing charity
There's a
work?
national need for this sort of cover.
So they're doing charity work.
They're not doing charity work.
Okay,
Sort of
then
like how
their
airplane companies
CEOs
aren't
must be
doing charity
making.
work.
Then their CEOs must be making some money. I imagine that the CEO of the guy who died, I imagine he had quite a bit of money actually while he was alive.
Yeah.
Before he got killed by Luigi, right? Allegedly. I'm just saying they must be making something. All I'm saying is that the money that they're making, they don't need to make it. We don't need insurance companies. Don't need them. Never did. We just give healthcare to people as a public service, just like we do.
You say give
Yes.
healthcare to people. Are you talking
As a
just
public service.
You're talking about on the insurance side. What about on the medical provider side, the hospitals, the doctors themselves?
What do you think firefighters? How do you think they get paid?
How many years of college do firefighters have to do? How many years of training do they have to do in comparison to a
How do
doctor?
politicians get paid? How do politicians get paid? Besides PACs and super PACs.
PACs don't pay politicians, they fund their runs. That's a bit different.
Yeah, but okay, you know what I meant though. How do they get paid? Tax money, right?
Yeah,
Lots of it.
It's a stipend.
Okay, lots of it. So how do teachers get paid? Public school teachers. They need college.
Yeah.
Okay, they get paid money not as much through taxpayer dollars, right?
There's a difference between the training for teachers
We
and training for
have,
doctors.
okay, we
You know
have,
how
the
much
point
money
is,
it costs to train a doctor?
we have a system in place already to pay public workers. What's wrong with it? Why can we not use it for doctors?
Do you know how much money it costs to train a doctor?
I don't care. Fund it.
I'm not even talking about how much you'd have to pay the doctors. I'm talking about how much
I know.
how much debt
Oh, I know.
doctors have to take up in order to train to be a doctor.
Well, you're not going to like my next opinion,
You have,
then.
you have to pay them enough money to where
You'll never
being
get-
a doctor, the advantages of being a doctor outweigh the costs of being a doctor. Because being a doctor, very stressful work for the most part.
How much is a doctor worth to you then?
I don't know. What does
How much? Let's say you have a heart attack. How much will you pay to be better, to recover from that? How much will you pay? How much are you going to dole out, huh?
It really depends on how much the copay is.
The answer should be infinity dollars, because your life is worth more than any amount of money. And that's how I feel about healthcare, and that's why I think it should be just free at the point of service, period.
Unfortunately, it's more complicated than that.
It's only more complicated because we make it so.
You can say that the human life is priceless, right?
It is. Do you disagree?
But there's labor involved in the task. Don't you think that labor is value in of itself? There's an important distinction. They will see you as a cost. Even though the human life is valuable, the amount of work put into it is not so much.
Okay, if a human life is valuable, then the work put into preserving those human lives should be like comparably valuable, right? Extending and preserving their lives. Comparably.
Extending.
You know, the job of doctors and other healthcare professionals.
Okay, fine. Let's say we have 5 human lives. All of them are equally invaluable, right?
Sure.
We have 3 slots for healthcare. Let's say all of them suffer.
But why
a
do
heart
we only
attack.
have 3? Why do we only have 3?
Because right now there's a finite amount of care that can be provided.
Why? Not enough people want to be doctors, right? That's
Not
why.
enough people were doctors at the time. Maybe the amount
Why
of
not?
healthcare in that area.
They
Maybe it
didn't
wasn't
want to be
profitable.
doctors? There weren't enough
Maybe
people
it
who
wasn't
wanted to be
profitable
doctors, right?
to send out a doctor to a more rural area like Central America. Well,
It wasn't
the
profitable.
Central America.
Okay, well, then we've reached the crux of the problem. Profitability, right?
Profitability is more than just on like a corporate level. There's profitability on an individual level. Should there be
On an individual level? Okay,
how much
so
money would we have to pay a doctor to go live in Montana to be the only doctor or be among
as much
the
as it
only
takes.
doctors?
As much as it takes. Money is just a thing that we made
How
up.
much does that
As
how
much as it
would that
takes.
person need to take to make it worthwhile to him?
How much does he want?
Is there a limit to how much you will give him?
How much does he want?
Ultimately, the limit of how much you'll give him.
I don't have one. You know why? Because I think those people's lives are worth more than any amount of money.
And that's the problem. You're not
It's
trying
almost
to,
as if there's a problem with money itself.
you're not trying
We're
to.
getting to
you're
the
not,
crux of my
You're
worldview
not
here.
trying to wrestle with reality here. You're trying to imagine.
Okay.
You're trying to imagine a world in which
The
all
reality
problems
is that
solved
with
by
private.
saying, I just do the thing. You can't do the thing.
Okay. The reality is that with private healthcare, people suffer, and I think that there's a better way. You don't.
I think. Well, no, I do think
You
there's
think this
a
is
better
as good
way.
as it gets?
I
No,
think
you think
there
this
is
is
a-
as good
no,
as it gets?
when did I tell you that?
Single payer
That this is as good as
healthcare
it gets.
is the same thing we have now. It's just that the government's now an insurance agent. That's it.
Yeah, the government will provide at a fixed value, ensuring the majority of people who are unsatisfied or unable to afford private insurance are able to afford public insurance.
Until we gut it, right? Until some Republican head comes in and guts it completely, right?
Well, wouldn't that be true for your system as well?
No, because in my ideal system, the money wouldn't be an object for Medicare for all. It wouldn't be an object. Whatever, however much it
It's a government
costs.
program. Money has to go into it.
Okay, print it out
Resources
then.
have to be
I don't. That
provided
doesn't
to it.
matter.
If a Republican gets in, he would be just like, you know what? I
Take it
do
from
like
the rich.
private insurance.
Take it.
And then
Do we come
guts
back to
it.
take it? Just take the money. Just take it. Just take it from people who have it. Who has the most of it? Take it from that
No,
guy.
because, what are you even talking about right now? I thought we were talking about the allocation of money to your system. Well,
Okay, so take it. Take the
we
money.
live in a world where hypothetically we have the money allocated to it. My argument was that under your system,
Okay.
a equally corrupt Republican can get in and gut the system too. It wasn't an argument.
This is the problem with Democrats. Y'all are just so dickless. I'm sorry. I can't get behind you.
Dickless, it's contending with reality.
The Republicans.
Can you at least
the Republicans are gonna come
wrestle
in.
with what
They're
can
already
be
doing
done?
it. They've been doing it under your fucking noses all this time. What are you talking about? They've been doing it. They've been corrupting the system. They are the corruption. They're the rot.
Yeah, the Republicans
well,
are
actually, you know
we
what?
agree on
I
that.
take that back. They're not the rot. Capitalism's the rot. But they're just feeding off of it like little bugs. And so are a lot of Democrats, mind you.
Yeah, the Republicans suck. I agree with you on that. Fetterman sucks, and we're gonna vote him out.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, he sucks. I don't know what happened in that stroke.
His brain needs to be studied.
Truly.
We can at least agree on that. Listen, I'm not trying to be contrarian. I'm really not. I'm just
Oh, no,
trying
I
to
get
point out
you're not trying to
the
be contrarian.
basic...
You're trying to follow the popular and the more stylish opinion at the moment. But I think that
No.
like it really helped if you would look into a lot of the systems in which you criticize, maybe learn how they work in order to like more effectively criticize them. Maybe what you're saying is true, but I want you to know how it's true or how they're false.
I'm telling you, insurance is a made up concept. It is just bullshit. It's
Yeah,
bullshit
money's a made-up
because
concept.
you know how I know.
Work is a
Yeah,
made-
that's true too. You know how
Borders
I know,
are a
though?
made-up concept too.
That's also true. We don't need them. Do you know how I know
Yeah.
that insurance though is just
Humans,
bullshit?
but also humans don't need to live for more than 30 years. Humans don't need to practice art or read. We can just go in the jungle and eat apples. There's something more to what we're trying to do here that does require some concessions to our lifestyle to ensure something better.
I don't accept concessions when it comes to people's health, period.
If you don't
accept
accept
it.
like some sort of political concession, you're going to have to concede everything to reality, unfortunately. We're in a world in which you can have a concession or nothing at all. You're basically slamming your head against the steel pillar, hoping it breaks away to something more. And it won't. You're just going to give yourself brain damage.
If that steel pillar is lodged into my abdomen, slowly killing me, then yes, I will do whatever it takes. And that's
It's
how I
not-
see it affecting society right now. That's what the profit incentive is in the healthcare system and everywhere, but specifically the healthcare system.
You do argue like the negative of profit. And I agree that there's some like spiritually draining aspect of the profit system. It is entirely unfortunate, but it's also a necessary extraction to ensure that we can have these higher level things like the computer you're on or the current quality of medical care that you can get in America.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that. We've been talking for about an hour now, so...
Nice talking to you.
Sure, I mean, I'm open to these conversations. It just gets frustrating because I feel like we overcomplicate, like, giving healthcare to people. There's no reason for it to be this complicated.
My problem is you seem to think that the healthcare is an unlimited amount of thing, an unlimited resource that we can give to an extremely large amount of people, but in reality it isn't, unfortunately. It's a finite resource, and in certain areas incredibly scarce. Right now we have like a little tightrope act. This is like under a world in which we have like the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the presidency to get this healthcare system through. We're ignoring the political realities of getting this thing just to have the logistic reality of it not work out.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree for tonight then.
All right, well, please just maybe like read up on like what a healthcare for all is, like what exactly was proposing and stuff. Because I think that will be a bit of like a refreshing thing.
I could stand to do a little bit more education for myself on it. You're not wrong. I will try to do my due diligence. That's
Thank
fair.
you.
All right. Well, thanks for coming
Have a
on.
nice
Thanks for the
evening.
conversation. Yeah, you as well. Hi, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you all know that I love and appreciate everybody in my community, whether you can support me financially or just by liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. It helps way more than you know. That being said, I do want to give a very special thanks to my tier 4 subs, which would be Space Timid and Hot Take Andy. And thanks so much to my monetary subscribers from any of the tiered subs or anybody who gives me money in any form, including going to my Patreon shop, donating money to me directly. It all helps way more than you know. If you do decide to help me financially, you can get some really cool perks like early access to content, exclusive access to censored videos, also some really cool badges next to your name. Even if you can't afford a monetary subscription, just watching, sharing, and commenting on my content helps way more than you know. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.